Hey, kickers and defenses. Kev, it's great to see you. Call of the week. We had the Chargers. They got you 10.5 points last week. The Rams got you 9 against the Saints. And the Lions got you 13.5, even though they had 27 points against. Wild. We missed on Green Bay, but they did give you 6.5 points. But big time letdown. 2 touchdown favorites. What is going on in Green Bay? Are they paper champs? Are they fraudulent? We shall see. Of note, heading into week 10, buys, Bengals, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Titans. If you look at all those 4 defenses, the Chiefs are the most appealing, but coming out of the bye, they don't have the best schedule. So not necessarily a look ahead spot for them. And the Seahawks, they're a juicy matchup. I want to point them out versus the Cardinals. Back-to-back weeks of 12.5 and 16.5 points. The problem is we're not going to play them up too much because you're going to have a hard time. They're 80% rostered. Last time they got the Cardinals, though, 15 points. So if you have the Seahawks, if you got them, you smoke them. Now we have QB issues with Kyler Murray. Should be a good game for the Seahawks. Let's kick it off, though. The Cleveland Browns defense at the Jets. This is our look ahead from last week, so you should have the Browns on your roster. Currently 36.5 point over under. 1.5 point favorites are the Browns. This might be the lowest total game that we've had for the entirety of the year. 30% on ESPN are the Browns, 21% on Sleeper. So you can go and get them. 5 of 7 weeks, double-digit fantasy points. They got 12.25 fantasy points, remember, against the Patriots for the 5-sack effort by Myles Garrett. They're coming off the bye, so they've likely been dropped. We remember 26-point outing versus the Dolphins in week 7. We got a whole lot going on with the Jets. It is very volatile with Justin Fields and where Breece Hall could end up or maybe not end up. There's just a lot going on that's not directionally correct for the Browns. Chev, tell us about the Carolina Panthers. Is this a misprint? What are we doing here?
Listen. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. I'm fighting it, okay? Because it's here. And we're living in the multiverse where the Carolina Panthers have gone from quite literally the worst unit of all time to a streaming unit here. So they're 3% rostered on Sleeper, 4.5% rostered on ESPN, and we're just betting against the Saints, much like we do against the Titans. We've now learned that we need to bet against the Saints. We gave you the Rams, and now we're giving you the Panthers. So they have 4 games of 2.5 points or less. I understand that, but counterpoint. Okay, Jerry, you ready for this counterpoint?
Tell me.
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do we need anything else here?
There's not much more. Just the fact that it printed, and this is early lines, 4.5 point favorites are the Carolina Panthers. Now we are going back to the New York Jets versus the Browns. So that's that same game that I mentioned, 36.5 points over under. We're talking about Army Navy here, but do not be confused. It is Jets and Browns. It will be professional football, and hopefully there won't be any issues with it being broadcast, right? I know that's been a topic of conversation the last few days, but 9% on ESPN are the Jets, 3% on Sleeper. This is just taking advantage of a low over-under total game. 2 teams that will run the ball, limit passing plays and total plays. You talk about a finite amount of plays. You're going to have even more finiteness, okay? This game could be over by 3 p.m. Eastern. While the Jets have a terrible real-life setup, they do have 4 double-digit games with 2 of them over 15 points. It could be ugly. It could be awful. But we're taking the Browns and we're taking the Jets defenses because we're streaming. You got those higher roster teams like the New England Patriots, which we put you on, or the Seahawks. You're set. You're good. But the Bills and the Jets are shaping up real good. Now let's talk about the Bills defense at the Dolphins. Chev, tell us.
Let's go Buffalo. So we got the Bills D here. 36% rostered on Sleeper. On ESPN, 53% rostered on Sleeper. And we've got them in a spot where they're going to be able to put Tua Tagovailoa into the walls of Jericho, and there's no room to tap out until the game's over with. So They're 9.5-point favorites. The Bills typically, historically, have had Tua Tagovailoa's number. So we're going to go into Hard Rock Stadium and come out with a double-digit fantasy performance from the Bills defense. So at this point in time, I would like to kick it back to you for our look ahead spot this week.
And we got a look ahead spot. The Texans defense on the road against the Titans, 75% on ESPN, 65% on Sleeper. So really fully spoken for on ESPN, but there's 35% out there. Check for availability. There's a shot with the increased fab bid that you could go out and get the Texans. This is probably due to all the injuries and the fallout from the Buymageddon. So simply, we're picking on the Titans until further notice. If you see them dropped out there, take advantage. You've got point totals of 13.5, 15.25, 13.5, 25.75. Just a very requisite defense that just gets the job done. So we love the Texans looking ahead. So make sure you keep them on your roster. They've been performing well, and we love them in week 11 because it's been a theme. Teams like the Panthers, Saints, Titans, it really does make us healthy and whole. Now, speaking of healthy and whole, let's listen to the Podfather.
Pour one out for an incredible best ball season. It was a breakout 2025 for Fast Draft, but now the NFL action has started. That means it's DFS season. That's right. You might think, oh, wow, DFS, I can't win DFS. Oh, but you can on Fast Draft. You just pick any 6 guys and you put them in a handful of booster spots. There's no salary rubric you have to follow. You're not going up against thousands of killer bots in these tournaments. Oh, no. These are regular people grabbing their 6 favorite plays of the week, and that's all you have to do. And we post the ownership so that you can choose how much chalk you want. There is no drafting. It's called the Quick 6 Super Slam. The Quick 6 Super Slam is the signature DFS contest at Fast Draft. It is changing DFS. We are making DFS great again. So go to fastdraft.app and use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match, and let's go start drafting faster.
Chev, we have a crowd favorite, Eddy Pineiro, on the show. People in the comments love him. Now you've got him. What do we like about Eddy Pineiro this week?
We like there's several things to like. One, the fact that he hasn't missed a kick all year. That's number one. Number two, he's provided stability to one of the most elite offenses that just figures out a way to score points more times than not. This is a 48.5 point over under versus the Rams, where they're favored by the Rams are favored by 3 points. So this is a juicy game. Now, we are up to 62% rostered on ESPN and 69% rostered on Sleeper. But fret not, my friends, because bye weeks are coming and people are going to have to drop. If you have to drop an Evan McPherson, now is the time that you want to go and pick up Eddy Pineiro. Pardon me to the Pineiro lineage, but he's had 6 double-digit games, and he gets back on track this week against the Giants with 12 points. So that's my guy for this week. Why don't you tell us about a potential shootout environment and the kicker that you like there?
Hey, and then a note on the 60%-ish roster players, you take a shot. Like the Bronx Tale, you take a shot because that's a high enough percentage that they should not be unrostered. Let's go to Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott at the Green Bay Packers, Chev. The current over-under, 44.5. The Packers, surprisingly, 2.5-point favorites. Early bettors may want to pound that line for the Philadelphia Eagles out of the bye week. Not sure if Saquon Barkley would necessarily move the line too much either. So keep an eye on that for various reasons. Jake Elliott, 39% on Sleeper, 50% on ESPN. So that bye week really is coming through. You're tying yourself, to a high octane offense coming out of that bye week. The Packers will be a juicy matchup, but also the next few weeks, the Eagles will play the Lions, the Cowboys, the Bears, and Chargers. So it's a really good shootout schedule coming up. And why not get an opportunity out of a bye where the player has been dropped, high octane offense, you go and get yourself some Jake Elliott. Now take it away, Jason Myers. We've been preaching the good word about Jason Myers against the Cardinals. Tell us, Chev.
Jason Myers, no relation to Michael Myers, takes on the Arizona Cardinals, and they're favored by 6.5 points. It's only a 43.5 point over-under, but we mentioned that the Seahawks are a highly rostered defense, but you can still get in on the action and profit off of a potential high turnover environment for the Seahawks defense with a guy like Jason Myers. So you're going to go scoop up Jason Myers. He's 6 of 7 games. He's had at least 8 points, 3 double-digit games, and then one of them was a 17-point outing. So you could do much worse if you've lost Brandon Aubrey or you've lost Evan McPherson. I don't know why I can't say Evan McPherson really fast, but this is a great condition. This is a great environment for kickers to just kick their little hearts out. So go get you some Jason Myers, pardon me.
Hey, there you have it. Kickers and defenses. Can you get 20 points? Can it alter the outcome of your week? I've been Coach. This has been Chev. We will see you next week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.